Well, great videos, and as I appreciate you guys being here late. As Apostle Paul said, those who persevere to the end will receive their reward, and you are almost at the end, and the reward is in the next room, at least a temporal one. I'm Rick Cope, and we're talking about three things. We're talking about a little bit about poverty. I'm going to give you some reading assignments. We'll get investment advice from Warren Buffett and the Apostle Paul. We'll fill out a little piece of paper and go have a party. Is that a deal? All right, so why me? Why us? And I can't see a screen down here with anything on it, so I have no idea what's on the screens. Me? Oh. So why do I care about this? Why did God put this on my heart? I grew up overseas around the world, as did my wife. She grew up in Taiwan, Singapore, and Korea. I went to grade school in England, high school in Spain, and I've been on 6 of the 7 continents and looking for the 7th. Most people that I found around the world, when I worked with them, lived with them, or was with them in a Marine, is they all want the same thing. They want a better life for them. They want to have their kids go to school and become educated and successful and have a better life for them, and they're willing to do anything to make that happen, universally, wherever I've been around the world. They're intelligent and industrious people everywhere, but they don't have the same resources that we do. And an interesting that's a useless bit of information for those folks, is that 50 years ago, China had a lower GDP than Africa. What happened? China got education, organization, and financial resources, and they took off. And that's a good role model for what could potentially happen in Africa. The other reason that I think God put this global poverty thing on my heart is, being a Marine, I see how it contributes to violence around the world. Because they have nothing else to do, because people take advantage of them, they're a target. There are madrasas where they'll feed your kid lunch if you send them for free, and they educate them into doing things that are wrong. And we need to compete that somehow by allowing these people to grow up out of poverty. And so as I became more and more convinced about Christianity after I married my wife, which is what happens to most of us guys, God put this thing on my heart about solving global poverty. And I objected. I said, how come I can't do like pet shelters or homeless help or, build a house someplace? Why global poverty? What am I going to do about that? And besides, the government's spending tons of money on this. What my argument with God, which generally doesn't work out very well. And when I went and did the research just to prove them wrong, I found that we spend over $2 trillion in foreign aid. And yet there's an inverse proportion between receiving foreign aid, GDP, and education in every single country where it's spent. And so once again, our government can't do it very well. Well, I thought that's okay, because I got lots of stuff. The poor people don't have stuff. And so if I take some of my stuff and give it to them, now they've got stuff, I still got stuff, I feel really good. And we can check this off the box, right? And then I ran into Bob Lupton. And he was not nearly as nice to me as he was to you all today. And he said, so let me get this straight. You want to create expectation, entitlement, and dependency. And no, I didn't want to sign up for that. And so that didn't work out very well. So now I'm stuck back with this challenge from God about doing something about global poverty. And I thought, what made America great? So this is one of your reading assignments. Get the book, Toxic Charity. The second one is this, Victory of Reason. Go get that book and read it. What made America great? The ships that came to America in the 16, 17, and 1800s weren't full of Bentleys and rich people. They were poor people with a hope and a dream. Free enterprise and capitalism is what made this country great, I thought. And why can't we take that same thing to other people around the world? Because it has raised more people out of poverty than any other mechanism. But there are still some left. Let's take this process, let's take this structure, let's take this construct and go there and work with them on that. And I saw that we were thinking about poverty wrong. We're thinking that poverty is a thing. We've got a global war on poverty, right? We're going to defeat poverty. We're going to end poverty in our lifetime. And then somebody very smart said one time that the federal government declared war on poverty, and poverty won. Because the government can't fix poverty. You can't get rid of poverty. What you can do, what we do, is help people climb out of poverty in a sustainable way. And that's completely different. Now, think about it differently, is that the poor, everyone says, are the problem. What's the problem with the poor? The problem of the poor, the problem with the poor. The poor aren't the problem. The poor are underutilized assets. Go out and ask any poor person, do you enjoy being poor? And 99% of them will say no. And they're willing to work really hard to not be poor. And so what we have to do is change our thought process, and we're doing that today, to say that they're the solution. But a solution, an asset, will just sit there on a factory floor unless you do something with it. And that's what we want to do. What we want to do is take them and train them, educate them, give them jobs, allow them to create companies, and even the world economic expert, Bono, says that capitalism is more successful than foreign aid. And we can get these kinds of folks on board. It allows us to do something really substantial for folks, which is to get them in business. The greatest form of charity, I would suggest, is to help someone else start a business that's sustainable and profitable and returns an investment and changes their family dynamics for generations to come. So what we want to do is help the poor who want to work. So this is not a gift to a lot of people. You've got to fill out applications, you got to come in, you got to line up, you need a business plan, you need a group of other women or men that are willing to vouch for you, you need high peer pressure, and then you go out and you work as hard as we do, they are doing. They get up early, they stay up late, they work hard just like you did to earn what you have. They want the same ability to earn what they had. And you can see that represented in their names. So when you think about an opportunity trust group, they all self-select names. And the names they self-select, I think, are indicative of what they believe and what they think. We offer them loans, all these things that you've seen here today. And the trust group names I like are We Win Together Trust Group. That's a good one. The second one is Making Our Own Way. But the third one that I really like is something that we have all told our children multiple times. You can't make a living sitting down or playing video games. And there's a couple exceptions, I know, but in general, you can't do that. So micro-entrepreneurs are the engine of lifting people out of poverty. They need training, they need education, they need loans and financial support and services, insurance, and then ongoing engagement. You can't drop it on top of them and walk off. It's like handing you a book on entrepreneurship and saying, having a great day. It doesn't work. We're the only ones that provide that ongoing capability. They take their profits, and what's hard for us to believe is some of them start their own charities only earning $50 because they see greater need in their environment. They support people and they employ others. Many times they're husbands. And a lot of times we talk about this women thing, and men have been so beaten down in many of these environments, they've lost hope and they've lost the ability to dream. And sometimes we need women that come along and help us get that back so we can get our act together and go out and be productive citizens. So if you're going to be an investor, there's 5 tests I propose for you. Number 1, you need a convincing need. Our convincing need is help those people, we're not going to do it, help those people break the cycle of poverty. Number 2 is a passionate and capable team. So I'm a retired Marine Corps officer, been in combat, I've led men there, I know what leadership looks like, and here at OI, we've got great leadership who can accomplish this mission. Number 3, clear goals. We have very distinct and measurable metric clear goals on how to make this thing work. Number 4, a comprehensive strategy, and you've seen a lot of that here today. And number 5 is a compelling return on investment. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But it's not just financial investment. You have the unique opportunity of all the people in Chicago. You are sitting here. And you might think a coincidence. Coincidence, the best explanation I've heard of that is God wishing to remain anonymous. You are here for a reason so that you can help participate in this. 3 reasons: strong focus on women, sustainable success. If you've ever been in a company or participated in a company, one-hit wonders don't work. It's sustainable success. $1 becomes 6, and a great ROI. Now, I'll show you a short video of a hero of mine. And if you've ever gone out and started a company, think about all the obstacles you faced, all the calls you had to make, all the family members you had to hit up for money, and all those kinds of things you had to do, and then watch what this woman went through and succeeded in doing. And then as I do, next time you think you're having a really bad day, pull this video back out and watch it. That other investors before you came along and provided her that opportunity. Her husband died, and she thought she had the ability to go do something, but she needed education and resources. I came alongside her and produced this kind of result. It's amazing when you think of what a little bit of money can do to people that really want to work hard, and we're able to work with those kinds of folks. So our goal is 20 million by 2020. More of that, and all the people she employs and all the families she affects and benefits. 4 families have stepped up, and we'll talk about this in a minute. On your table there, if you reach in the middle, you're going to find a couple of things. You're going to find a card like this. I hate forced participation, but please grab one of those and make me happy. And you'll find a white sheet like this, because you'll need this in a minute. How many of you are old enough to remember Hotel California? This is your ticket out of the room. Otherwise, you're here forever. And actually, you're going to find these things. So having these things in your hands, this white paper is a challenge. If you meet some of this challenge, you get to double your money. And this other one, we need to fill this out for a minute. But first, let's take a little imaginary side trip. Imagine it's not me up here, but it's this guy, Warren Buffett. And he's got a deal for you. He's going to let you invest in one of his opportunities. Now, if that was the case, how much would you want to invest alongside Warren Buffett for a great return? Think about that. Come up with a number in your head and put that away for a second, because we have an investment opportunity that can match that. So think about Warren Buffett. How much would you want to invest with him? And then think about our other financial advisor, the one that really afflicts me, and that's the Apostle Paul. Because he said this in Romans 10 through 14. And the part that gets me is this. I've taken the spiritual gifts test a number of times, and it never gets any better. I don't know why I take it more than once. But I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play musical instruments. I'm low on empathy and mercy. And so there's not much left. Except sending. We can send. We here have the ability to send people who will educate, who will train, who will finance, who will transform, who will encourage these people to become successful business owners and entrepreneurs, raise their children out of poverty, feed them, put them in school, and afford basic medical care, and grow up companies around the world. All of that's within our grasp here tonight. So here's what I want you to do. Take that form and fill it out. Use your pens on the table. We provided everything. Okay? And if you want to do an ongoing monthly gift, if you want to join the Board of Governors, if you want to become an ambassador, get inside the tent and be able to help us convey direction to the organization, I want you to do that. I want you to do it out of love, but I want you to do it because when you do this, when you fill out this form, there's going to be an OI staffer at the back of every door. They're going to have a basket and they have a pen. So if you need some help filling it out, they'll help you to fill it out. If you need some help adding a 0 to your amount, they'd be happy to add a 0 to your amount. But this filled out is your ticket out of here. But I want you to do it not because we've all asked you to do it or because there are great people on the stage. I want you to do it because somewhere, like we saw in that video, at some time in your past, someone invested in you, someone loved you, someone trusted you, and that encouragement, that love, that trust has made all of us and all of you what we are today. And we have the unique opportunity here in Chicago and in the world to be the people that get the opportunity to do that. Fill out your cards, please. Hand them out. And Vicki, if you come join me. That's it. I'm done.
I thought you were going to give me something. Thank you, Rick.